What's up, hobby joggers, Olympians, and spectators? Let's talk about Steens. Steens Mountain Running Camp. Steens, the pinnacle of high school distance running. Straight out of God's skillet, this camp makes better humans out of all of us. Nestled in the heart of Eastern Oregon, 200 antsy teens learn how to tap into their primal distance runner and how to pick up their own poop. Let me tell you about it. So the days are split up, and one of the most highly anticipated / dreaded days is Big Day, and this happens on the Tuesday. You basically go an accumulation of 28 miles, a mix of hiking and running, into a canyon and out of a canyon, and it's insane. And the kicker for this is that the leaders of this camp are champions of the earth. They're like, yeah, you better believe we're gonna leave that earth exactly the way we found it. And you know what that means? That means that if you take a dump, which is inevitable because it's a 28 fucking mile excursion, means if you take a dump, you have to put it in a little baggie, put it in your backpack. You have to carry around your... Yeah, but I had anti-poop pills. Yes. I mean, they're like decently natural. They're not gonna like fuck you up, but they basically just like make you constipated for a day. They proved to be useful. I found when I ran my trail marathon that, hey, I don't really feel like taking a dump, but hey, I know for a fact that running makes my stomach a little funky, a little frisky, condenses everything up. You don't have to worry about it. And then on the day you find out that your turds become one with you for the rest of your journey, that you have to carry everything that comes out of you in your backpack, having anti-poop pills made me the most valuable person in camp. That was good. It's funny because then came the most embarrassing moment of my life, but it was still on one of the happiest days of my life. So it didn't bother me too much, but basically it's Big Day, right? I'm trekking along. It's a single file line and you have to stay pretty much silent for the majority of it. And you're supposed to really be just taking in the nature around you and just becoming one with the world you're living in. They lead with the girls starting single file and then the guys behind them so that the guys don't push the pace. You're with your team, you're with your tent. My gals, we were tent 6, so we were at the very back of all the 100 girls that attend the camp. And so then we had all the 100 guys like right behind us. And the gal I was with, she was pretty fearless. I mean, had a heart of a lion, There were some bathroom breaks, and of course they're all just in the woods, and you have to have your little doggy doo-doo bag with you for your human doo-doos. Yes, I'm just gonna re-emphasize that, but not for me. Anyways, so she had a heart of a lion, and she wasn't afraid to just all of a sudden just say human shield, and I would just get into position, and then she would drop her drawers and take a quick leak, even though we had guys like right behind us. But she would do it quick enough that it was fine, and I'm like, wow, if it gets to the point where I need to do that, maybe I can take some inspiration from this teammate of mine. And, gals like me, when you're the size of a stallion, you have to consume so much more water than the pipsqueaks on either side of you. And it has to go through you. That's just how science works. It got to the point where I'm like, sheesh, I really need a rock of piss. And I'm like, I kept waiting, I kept holding out. I'm like, oh, we can wait till the next break. It got to the point where I just couldn't wait anymore. And I had my lucky moment. There was a little creek crossing that was really holding everybody up, which is the only time that the line got backed up in the whole hike, because you had to always close the gaps. They're on you, they're like, close the gaps. But everyone was getting held up at this little creek, and I'm like, this gives me the perfect opportunity to rock a piss. So at this point, I'm in I'm the last person in the girls' line, and then it turns into guys. And in this particular moment, we were stopped at the bottom of a giant hill. And all the 100 guys attending the camp were up the hill on switchbacks, looking down at me the person who really needs to take a leak. They sort of probably, like, could see what was going on, but I just, I didn't really give a fuck. And so I'm like, hey, there's some sagebrush right here. That's some coverage. I had my gal Kaylee human shielding. Yeah, so I, dropped the knickers and was ready to just rock out a quick one. But alas, my body played the cruelest trick. Such a devious prank from my body in that moment. My body's like, hey, let's just take as long as physically possible before you can even start taking a piss. I swear to God, it was a minute and a half of me bare-assed at the bottom of this hill trying to pee. It took me a minute and a half to even begin. So at that point, by the time I even started, there's no more bottleneck at the creek. And it's just these 100 guys up this hill being held up by this bare-ass chick taking a millennium to rock one. This just doesn't happen in real life. This is movie shit. This is like where you wake up in your dream and you're so lucky that you woke up then because you didn't wet the bed. No, but it was real. And so I finally started actually pissing. And I'm like, oh, God bless. And then it just happened to be the longest piss stream of my entire existence. Holy shit. I was literally urinating for 2.5 minutes when 100 teenage boys are held up by this monster piss. Like, who urinates for 2.5 fucking minutes? Ow! And so I'm just like, okay, kill me. The tent that was like immediately behind us, that was tent 5, so I got really personal with tent 5, I guess. I was mostly embarrassed that I couldn't close the gap and that we would all have to be hauling ass to make up for the time I just obliterated with that monster piss. 2.5 minutes. So by the time I'm done, I'm like, I need to fucking get out of here. And the problem is, when you're 14 miles in and you've been crouching for, at this point, 4 minutes, your legs give out. So I'm crouched and I'm like trying to pull up my pants as fast as possible. But right here, my legs give out and I fall face first, bare ass, bum to the sky. Right for the spectators. And then I get up and I just sprint and I pull them up and I cross the creek faster than anyone else has ever moved on water. And I look down and I'm like, well, sheesh, now I'm covered in mud. But this is arid Eastern Oregon climate. It hasn't rained. It hasn't rained in a while. God damn it! And you guessed it, it was mud created by dirt in my own urine. I was covered in piss mud. And you know what the kicker is? You know what the very worst part of this was? Even though it was still the best day of my life and the best week of my life, let me stress that. But I crossed the river, covered in my own piss, and then they're like, hey, it's bathroom break. Ah! Yep, so there was a bathroom break. Whoo! 200 feet from my little stunt. Yep. So that was big day for me. Yeah, so that was just fantastic. And somehow I still got a basket date. It's been a wild ride. I'm glad you stuck through all the peepee poopoo humor. It means a lot to me. That week shaped me, and I fucking loved every bit of it. Even being face down in the mud, bum to the sky. Steens is a magical place. If you need some strategies for how to secure a basket date, or maybe some tips and tricks on how to stir a porta potty, then let me know in the comments that you want a Steens Part 2. Alright, and with that, stay feisty, you Steens Mountain Warriors, but most importantly, stay dry.